Hey, what's up everybody? It's Grizz from Red Force TCG, your home for everything competitive One Piece. Today, I just want to make a video talking about the upcoming ban list that we just got announced on Monday, and kind of what it means for our pocket meta that we'll be having in here in the West. Yeah, so let's get right into it. First of all, I want to thank our sponsors, which is Game Euphoria. They're a game store that is in our area, and if you scan this QR code on your screen, they'll take you to their TCG player store, where you can find singles for One Piece, Magic, Pokemon, and a bunch of other stuff. So if you need singles, I would highly advise checking it out and try to support us and our local community. So shout outs to Joey and Game Euphoria, and yeah, let's get into the video. Okay, so on Monday we got a ban list, and that ban list was pretty huge. As of the 1st of September for Japan, Red Purple Law and Enies Lobby are completely banned. I thought for sure they were just gonna emergency ban Black Maria to deal with the Red Purple Law problem that they're having in Japan and not actually hit the leader. I thought this because if you look at our results here in the West and kind of before OP08 for Japan for RP Law, it's good, but it wasn't really this dominant force that it is today with the card. But instead of kind of fixing the oopsie, they're just getting rid of it completely. So unfortunately for me, and all the other RP Law players, we're just getting banned outright. Now whether or not that's the best move, you know, I guess that kind of remains to be seen. I know a lot of people are happy, but I have other thoughts about that, where that could be a whole other video, right? Because people say, like, it restricts card design, but guys, so does Gecko Moria 8-drop. And that didn't get banned or hit at all, which is interesting. So yeah, unfortunately, or fortunately for some, having RP Law out of the meta completely is huge. No matter how you feel about it, it does impact the meta in a very, very big way. For Japan, it takes out the tier 0 meta, and for us, it takes a very good tier 1 deck and just takes out of contention. So that's important because in a metagame, when you take away one piece, all the pieces around it change and adapt to that new information. And we'll get into that later. But RP Law, banned, too good. You know, join Sakazuki. See you later, man. Rest in peace. So the other card that decided to hit was Enies Lobby. Lucci was the other deck in the meta in Japan right now that's doing really well because it can combat RP Law. And it's doing fairly well here in the West as well. So hitting Enies Lobby cuts kind of both the power and consistency of the deck, because it can no longer just kind of free roll off of the single card in the early game and kind of set up for the rest of the game by itself. So you can't really go leader stage 3 cost Brook, leader stage 5 Kaku, leader stage 4 Lucci, or anything like that. So now they have to actually run real, you know, specific reduction cards like Ice Age or Tempest Kick to actually get things into range where the black cards can KO them. It's just gonna make Lucci a bit more fair. When Lucci came out in OP07, it kind of pushed Moria out a little bit. Moria kind of adapted to being more of like a go wide deck, and Lucci was like the main destruction deck in black, like the premier black kind of destruction deck. I think now with no stage, Lucci will need to adapt, and I think Moria might be the best black deck if Lucci doesn't have stage. It just kind of depends. We're gonna have to see. But yeah, overall, Red Purple Law completely taken out of the meta, and Lucci did lose his stage, which is a fundamental piece of the deck that allowed it to kind of go above and beyond what black you know, is kind of meant to do or supposed to do, where you combo reduction and KO and kill things and kind of just let you just free roll a lot of the times. So after they told us that RP Law was banned, they gave us this gem. I don't even know how to feel about this, honestly. I mean, I do know how to feel about this. I hate it. It's sort of insulting. And I have a theory. When Sakazuki got banned and they announced the new Sakazuki, we were like, wow, this is so much worse. But Sakazuki was really broken, right? Here we have a similar situation. This is so horrendously bad. I don't know how you could come to this as like a card design. I think it is because if they accidentally, or if they ban a leader and accidentally reprint it, and that leader is still good, or in a really bad situation, it is very good still, they look really stupid. So I think they go on the very safe side and just make it really horrendously bad. So that way, you know, people can still quote unquote play the deck or play the colors, but it's not going to actually show up in competitive play. So what this says is you basically, for Dom -3, you can bottom deck one of your 3K or higher characters. Your characters have to be 3K or higher. So you no longer can bottom deck any of your opponent's stuff, and you can't even like combo this with searchers or utility cards. Like you can't like Nami search for like a straw hat, bottom deck the Nami, play a different guy. It has a 3K or higher. So you either have to play like weird 3Ks or just be bottom decking actual attackers. And you get to put into play a 4 cost or less Heart Pirate. What? Like just a Heart Pirate. And guys, the Heart Pirate engine is not very good right now. Like we have a Searcher and we have Gamma Knife and we have Sachi and Penguin and Beppo's pretty cool. That's it. So this is just super bad. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of when they do these reprint leaders. Just let him rest, man. This is disastrously bad. I'm sad. Okay, moving on. So who benefits from this? So with RP Law out of the meta, like I said, you know, the meta fundamentally changes because, you know, if you don't have to worry about one of the best pieces of the meta, priorities can change and things can shift in big ways. And Lucci also getting a pretty drastic hit will also contribute to that. So I think number one, I think we look at Nami. People are all talking about it. RP Law was Nami's worst matchup by far. So without that in the meta, if you look at the meta, they're all kind of like slower decks that Nami can take advantage of. So I think really big win for Nami. And we're gonna have to see like how cringe that ends up being, because yeah, I mean it could end up being really bad, but we'll have to wait and see. Secondly, I think Luffy benefits a lot. You know, I think the big 3 decks were Black, Yellow, Luffy, RP Law, and Lucci. So with both of those kind of taking a step down, it kind of like doesn't really put Luffy up. It more just like solidifies his spot as like, I didn't get hit, therefore if I was the best deck in a more powerful meta, quote unquote, then he should be one of the most powerful decks in this meta as well. So overall, I think Luffy will stay the same but get better in context of the meta, if that makes sense. Reiju, with the addition of Porsche, the red purple law matchup got so much better, but without RP Law at all, Reiju has free reign to do all the Reiju stuff that she wants to do. So it's kind of now this like aggressive tempo deck, whereas like in OP06 it was like a value sort of like tempo deck, I guess. But now we're like on like play Porsche, play little red, big red, like make a bunch of swings. Oh, you have a bunch of cards in hand because I attacked you a bunch. Here's a pudding. It also has access to blue, so it gets to play the tech cards like Pudding and Gion for the Nami matchups. Actually, I think probably gonna take RP Law's spot as the worst matchup for Nami, in my opinion, if I had to guess. So Reiju got much better by example. So yeah, Reiju's looking really cool. I think Reiju's serious tier 1 contention, but we'll see how it goes. Boa, I also think got a lot better. Boa's Lucci matchup was really not good. So Lucci kind of taking a hit in power, only good for Boa. The board control that you get with like Red Rock and Gravity Blade can help you in like a variety of matchups, as well as like Blue's top end is fairly good with your draw Kaido. A lot of people are playing the bounce Kaido again, so it's exciting to see where Boa can kind of land in the meta. She's kind of like this like counter out early, play some guys kind of like a different flavor of tempo, kind of trying to take the tempo away from your opponent and keep yourself at a high life total, so that it's kind of hard for them to end late game because you didn't take any hits early game. So I think Boa got a lot better, which is exciting. I think, you know, anytime we get a mono blue leader in the format other than Nami, it's gonna be a good time. So Bonnie is one of those decks where she kind of suffered from like consistency to herself. Like she can't search Hody if you don't have 8-drop kit at a certain time. If you only have 8-drop kit at a certain time, I didn't see my Dophies. My top end just didn't line up. I didn't see Basil. These kinds of things. But if the format is getting slightly slower, this might give her an opportunity to kind of retool her deck to what the meta is looking like, and potentially come back to the forefront after kind of a steep fall off, at least here in the West in the last few weeks. She can sort of maybe come back into the meta as a really nice mid-range deck that kind of just kind of spikes in the mid game, and then like kind of seeks to close out the game with a Hody or with like 1 or 2 10-drop Dophies right before, like, you know, we reach really late game. So I'm excited to see how that develops, but I think Bonnie's looking good, or at least looking better. And then Gecko Moria, I think, may be the best black deck over Lucci. I think a lot of people would say pre-ban that Lucci was the best black deck, and I can't really disagree with you. But I think now Moria has a really big chance to kind of come back as like the premier black deck. You know, it has the most Morias because it can get it back and things. Perona is really a broken card. They kind of switched to like focusing on Absalom and like not really focusing on Lucci. So they're only really popping one thing a turn, but that might be all you need. If everyone's only playing one guy a turn because RP Law is gone, you might only need to pop one guy a turn. So Moria might get a boost from that and kind of catapult it to the front of the meta. But we'll kind of wait and see. You know, I think there's some questions about how Moria's build is supposed to be. So there's definitely a lot of testing to be done. And the big thing, you know, that we have to keep in mind is that we did get confirmation that our ban list is in effect on the 6th of September. So this is really important because this is a few weeks before Nats for us in the West, or at least in North America. So a lot of this needs to be tested. A lot of this, you know, is new ground. We kind of have like a pocket meta that Japan never experienced because we have OP07, but there's no RP Law, and you know, so it's kind of wide open. These are just some decks I think that got better. I'm sure that there's more, but these were, I think, the big winners here. And yeah, so I need to find a new deck because I can't play RP Law at Nats. We're about to go to regionals this weekend where I will be playing RP Law one last time. Yeah, that's kind of where we're at with that. If you like the video, consider subscribing. That'd be great. Again, you know, shout outs to Game Euphoria, and we appreciate all you guys watching. And yeah, stay tuned for more One Piece content. Thanks a lot, guys.